My name is Raquibul Hasan. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences. So my research is primarily focused on discovering new drugs for blood pressure treatment, which are conventionally not treated by existing drugs. So the grant that we have been funded by NIH is on a new kind of an apparently unexplored action of statin, which may have much more beneficial action. So we already know that statins are taken by over 200 million people in the world, and oftentimes people start taking it and then they just drop it because of some minor inconveniences. So what we found is that statins not only reduce cholesterol, bad cholesterol from our body, and thereby fix our vessel issues and cardiovascular problems, but they can also relax our vessels, which would actually mean that it lowers the blood pressure, and blood pressure reduction translates into the reduction of risk in terms of cardiovascular death, for example, heart attack and stroke. So this research identifies a new role of statin in terms of blood pressure reduction and how that can potentially mitigate the risk for stroke and heart attack. So the first benefit is really clearing the cloud overhead about whether statins have any blood pressure lowering effects or not. So many studies in the last 30 years were done. Some found that they do have some blood pressure lowering effects. Others found that they don't have any effect. We now find that both are possible depending on the context. So basically, they're looking at a subjects which are not really ready to respond to statin therapy. So in our lab, we have kind of framed a molecular framework where we know exactly people who are not responding to statins now, how we can bring them within the treatment plan so they can actually benefit from statin therapy. So not only identifying how they respond, and we can also identify a time frame by which where they're likely to respond. And if they continue responding, they can potentially benefit from this therapy. Personally, the most exciting part is that statins are some of the world's most widely used drugs, and maybe for sure, they're top five most prescribed drugs in the world. So it is important that we understand the benefits of taking this. There may be some side effect that can happen, and the doctors can comment on this. So the most important thing is that clinicians can make more informed decisions. So if we know that statins can lower blood pressure in addition to cholesterol reduction, so the doctors can determine this. And a lot of time, people who have high cholesterol issues, they take blood pressure medications. So if you benefit from statins, that may mean that you may not need a higher dose of blood pressure lowering medications. And if you're combining all these drugs, we also need to be on the lookout for any hypotension, so where the blood pressure goes too low, which is not good either. So we can calculate this, and maybe that can help us come up with a fresh regimen in terms of what drugs need to be combined for those patients.